So I guess Conrad's camera is doing the live shots at noon. Do they know this? So make sure, because they haven't called me.
Go ahead and give them a mic check.
Chris, y'all good?
Yeah, they're trying to figure stuff out on their end.
At the last minute.
I figured.
Ward's taking a nap.
Yeah, he worked the morning shift.
Yeah.
So when he wakes up from his nap, he'll come in and figure it all out.
You won't see these dogs.
That sounds familiar. Catch your camera, catch your camera, catch your camera.
I called 15 minutes ago.
Do a mic check one more time.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, hello, hello. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4.
He's producing it. We'll just let them know I'm going to be what's our phone?
Tell Olivia that.
I know, but I mean, if they're walking us down, man, I got to do it.
Slide him Meridian right there.
Doesn't get better than this.
Wait, ask her what she just
Feeling better?
Ask Olivia what did she just
Hey, Megan. Hey, you're doing good, right?
When he got out there,
Tell him that that's my call. Did I hear something?
Yeah, I need to get them to the media world.
something really big.
Hey, are you gonna be switching to what's camera from before too?
Which always seems to be the right thing.
Are you gonna be switching to what's camera from? Sorry,
I didn't want to kick it. Hey.
after my company, so I was like, that's a thing.
The vice president's SUV just pulled up and all the dignitaries just going to walk out on the tarmac. So.
Not pleasant.
Okay, we're about 5 minutes out, if that.
You want to just fire up at the chair?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I got it. You got it. How's your mic check? Good.
Hey, Megan.
Hey, Conrad.
Am I what?
Conrad. You're Rob. Hey, Conrad, get that.
You want to get these guys? Wait, what's this? Can you do it? Okay. I'm sorry. What are you saying, Megan? He can get that. I'm sorry. Okay, cool.
It's a little over.
What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You good? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here at Lafayette Regional Airport, awaiting the arrival of Air Force 2. Vice President Mike Pence expected to arrive about 12:20. I'm told that he is on time, which is good. Now, he's going to meet with some supporters and donors and several of the church members here at Signature Aviation. We've also got several dignitaries here as well. Governor John Bel Edwards. We've got Representative Steve Scalise, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser, and others, and they're going to meet with Vice President Pence when he arrives.
Yeah, it's good this year. Hey, Justin.
So Steve Scalise?
I saw Steve, yeah. Sure did. We're in the process. All right, we should see us now for any second. Are you gonna stay on the phone with me, or you wanna? How you wanna do this?
Stand by, Rob.
Standing by. All right, Tracy, you don't see me right now. You're looking at Air Force Two. It just landed a minute ago, about 12:12 p.m., about 8 minutes earlier than what we were expecting. So Vice President Mike Pence is aboard Air Force Two, of course, and from there he is going to make his way down to the tarmac here. Well, he will be greeted by such officials as Governor John Bel Edwards, as well as Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. We've got Attorney General Jeff Landry here, as well as Representative Steve Scalise out of the New Orleans area. Then there are about 100 people here. They are, I'm told, made up of friends, family, supporters, donors, and also several members of some of the affected churches from St. Landry Parish. From there, we are going to be joining the vice presidential motorcade. We're going to be taking several vans along the route up to the Sunset area, where we will go to Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. Now, that was the third church that was torched back in early April. Of course, three black churches in St. Landry Parish were burned to the ground in late March and early April. The vice president is, there you can see, he is on Air Force Two, and it has landed here at Lafayette Regional Airport. We are here near Signature Aviation, and we are waiting for the plane to taxi towards us. Again, Governor John Bel Edwards is here, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser, as well as Steve Scalise, the representative out of the New Orleans area. Now, Vice President Mike Pence will be going to Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, as I mentioned. There he will meet privately with pastors and parishioners. He will walk around the area, kind of survey some of the damage there, and then he will speak to the media for a short time afterwards. I'm told the visit shouldn't take much more than a half hour, and then, of course, the vice presidential motorcade will come back here to Lafayette Regional Airport. Now, this morning on Twitter, Vice President Pence tweeted about his trip and about the church burnings, saying, quote, "No one should ever fear for their safety in a house of worship in America or anywhere in the world." Now, again, Air Force Two, as you can see, probably getting a better look at it now. I've got Conrad Herzog on the video camera here, and he is showing us Air Force Two. Again, Vice President Mike Pence will be meeting with the pastors of the three historically black churches, the Baptist churches in St. Landry Parish, to kind of comfort them and just kind of visit the site and see what they're going through here in St. Landry Parish. We are going to have live coverage for you tonight at 5 and 6 on News 10. I've got my colleague Dalford Jones with me. We're going to be covering the story for you for News 10 at 5 and 6. And then we'll have, of course, a complete wrap-up for you at 10 o'clock. So let's kind of watch. As you can see, the plane there, Air Force Two, getting closer to us. Again, for those of you just joining us, Mike Pence, Vice President Mike Pence, has landed here at Lafayette Regional Airport. Air Force Two touching down around 12:12 this afternoon, about 8 minutes sooner than we expected, but it is nice when you go to these things and they're on time, or even earlier than that. After he gets off Air Force Two, he will be greeted by several luminaries here, including Governor John Bel Edwards, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser, Congressman Steve Scalise, Attorney General Jeff Landry, and some others. And now we're just going to kind of throw back to Tracy for just a second. I understand Tracy may have a question or two. What's up, Tracy? No, what we're hearing is that he is going to meet privately here with some of his supporters, donors, and several of the church members from the St. Landry Parish churches. And we're going to be allowed to kind of, video that, film that, if you will. But we're not going to be expecting to ask him any questions here. However, we're told that when we get to St. Landry Parish, when we get to Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, after he has the private moments with the pastors and with the parishioners, we will be able to, he will make a few statements, and we will perhaps be able to ask him a question or two about, his visit here to Acadiana and just, the situation of the burnings of the churches here. That's right, Tracy. And as you can see, we're getting a better look, a close-up look of Air Force Two. It is pretty impressive. And, of course, we're here at Signature Aviation, which is at Lafayette Regional Airport. Again, Air Force Two landing at about 12:12 this afternoon, about 8 minutes earlier than what we thought. So we're always happy when things are early instead of late. Air Force Two now making the turn. And we're expecting Vice President Mike Pence to depart Air Force Two momentarily. Again, Governor John Bel Edwards is here. One of his challengers, Congressman Ralph Abraham, is here as well. We've got Steve Scalise, the congressman out of New Orleans. I see Attorney General Jeff Landry. I also see Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser here, as well as probably about 100 or so supporters, donors, some family members of the churches in St. Landry Parish. So very cool sight to see. Again, Vice President Mike Pence will be going to Mount Pleasant Baptist Church in the Sunset area, and he will be talking to pastors from all three churches up there as well to kind of offer his condolences and kind of, bring the message from the administration here to St. Landry Parish. Now, we've been talking about the GoFundMe account that they have set up for the churches, and more than $2 million has already been raised on that GoFundMe. So that money will be evenly distributed among the three churches. Tracy? Yeah, I'm not really sure about that, Tracy. I'm not sure if they're going to go with him or if they're just here. I would imagine that some of them would. I know that the donors and the supporters and some of the church members meeting with him this morning, or this afternoon, I should say, they're going to stay here. But I'm guessing some of the officials will, but I just don't have an exact answer for you. We're told about 4 pastors are going to be up there, and we're thinking it's probably going to be from the other 2 churches as well. We'll have to see when we get up there. But again, this is he's going to one church probably just for logistical reasons, but he will have representatives, at least church members from the other 2 churches there as well. And now some people are starting to get off the plane here. Some of the folks are coming out of the back of the plane. All right, Tracy, am I with you? Okay. I believe the Vice President's going to come out of the front of the plane. I see some of the national press people coming out of the back. So as you can see, Governor John Bel Edwards is first in line there. Representative Steve Scalise is there as well. So is Representative Ralph Abraham, who is challenging Governor Edwards. And we've got Jeff Landry, the Attorney General. We also have Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser here to greet Vice President Mike Pence, who again is traveling to Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, one of the 3 churches that were set on fire by an alleged arsonist. I'm sorry, Tracy, say that again? Yeah, I'm not really sure. I guess we'll see when they get off the plane. Like I said, I'm just, looking at who's here right now and who I see, but we may see Congressman Higgins up here as well. We've got the motorcade kind of lining up here. We've got state police motorcycles outside Signature Aviation, and we have some of the cars in the motorcade, the big Suburbans kind of pulling up here. And again, some of these vehicles were brought in by a C-17 last night. These are, of course, armored vehicles, protected vehicles, and we've got to, I think we're being motioned to, oh no, okay, here's what's going on now. Some of the photographers will be allowed to go closer once the vice president emerges. There he is, Vice President Mike Pence. I see Senator Bill Cassidy with him behind him. And I think that's Clay Higgins behind him as well, Representative Clay Higgins. Yep, you're right, Tracy, there he is. There he is. Yeah, my eyes don't have that zoom. In fact, my eyes are really bad without my lenses. But yeah, there's Clay Higgins. I see him pretty clearly now. Again, the vice president right now talking to Governor John Bel Edwards. There is Senator Bill Cassidy, and now the vice president is shaking hands with some of the state dignitaries that are here to greet him in Lafayette. Again, the vice president will be traveling by motorcade to the Opelousas area, Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, the last of the 3 Black Baptist churches that was set on fire about a month ago. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Tracy. Of course, St. Mary Baptist Church, the first church that was burned down in late March, that's in the Port Barre area. Then we've got Greater Union Baptist Church in Opelousas itself. Now, Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, some say it's Opelousas. It's actually right outside of Sunset. So you're right, that is the closest church by my calculations to the Lafayette Regional Airport. So it's probably, being done for logistical purposes. As you said, the vice president does have to travel to Kentucky later this afternoon. So he's spending a good bit of time talking to our local and state delegation there. And then, as I said, he is going to come over here where there are probably 100, maybe 120 people waiting to kind of shake hands and say hello to him. We're told that these are family, friends, donors, supporters, some church members who are not going to be at the church site today. But the church site should be interesting. Of course, I was there about 3 weeks ago as we did our newscast from up there about 3 Thursdays ago. And, you really have to see the devastation to believe it. And I'm sure that the vice president will be moved when he sees just what happened up there. Again, that's Mount Pleasant Baptist Church in the Sunset area. While he's there, he's going to have some private moments with the pastors. We're told he's also going to sign the Remembrance book and, meet with some of the parishioners privately as well. And then we're told he's going to, take a few minutes to talk to us and, maybe answer some of our questions as well. So it should be a really interesting day. And, I know that a lot of folks are happy to see the vice president here to, kind of visit the church and and get a glimpse of that destruction for his own eyes. Tracy. Tracy, the vice president, is now, as our camera moves, moving over to the crowd of folks assembled here behind the fence. Probably about 100 or so people. Of course, taking pictures and, getting a chance. Some will get a chance to shake the vice president's hand. It does, Tracy, look like the dignitaries are going to be in the motorcade traveling with the vice president up to Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. So again, you see that the vice president is there meeting some of the folks here in Lafayette, and we're expecting him to leave soon. We'll be in that vice presidential motorcade. We'll be traveling in a couple of press vehicles to cover what's going to happen in the Opelousas area later this afternoon. Trace.
Did they cut the cover?
Yeah, that's right. There's always the old joke about politicians shaking hands and kissing babies, and you saw the vice president just picked up a baby, so. That's right, Tracy. And of course, you see, again, the vice president talking to some people, shaking hands, even signing a few autographs. And as we said, holding up a baby a couple of minutes ago. That's right. That's right. I think we did get a good shot of that, too, actually. So, yeah, we're not sure how long he's going to stay here. Just a few minutes, I guess, and then we're going to get into the press vans and kind of follow him up to the Opelousas area to St. Landry Parish to go to Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, and that should be a pretty moving experience for a lot of people up there to see the vice president, look at the wreckage, the damage, what's left of Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, and again, he'll have some private moments with those pastors and also some of the parishioners, and kind of walk around the area, look at the destruction, sign the remembrance book, and then he'll, kind of share his thoughts with us as well. Yeah, that's right. Holden Matthews charged with those 3 counts of arson and those hate crimes, as well as you mentioned, Tracy. And obviously, son of a St. Landry Parish Sheriff's deputy. I know that was part of the story, and of course, Sheriff Bobby Guidros, saying that his father is a really great officer and a good man. So, of course, we're going to have to see how that plays out in court. Of course, when I was up there a few weeks ago, the parishioners were very, they felt bad for the young man, very, very forgiving, I guess. Not any hate, so they kind of felt sorry for him. Maybe he didn't know what he was doing, allegedly. So, there's certainly a lot of emotions around an event like this, and we all know the history of the hate crimes in the South over time. Directed at African Americans as well. So there's a lot going on here, and we're going to try to encapsulate all of that for you coming up later on News 10 at 5 and 6. Tracy.
Is Tracy still on?
I'm still on.
Get off me now.
What's that? We are going. Okay, Tracy. Yeah, we got to go. We got to go. We'll talk to you later. I just flipped it on.
Okay.
I hear you, sir. Yes, I hear you. Okay. Okay, cool. Conrad, they got me talking. I don't want to interrupt too much. Hi, Tracy. Yeah, we just got here to Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, and as you can see, Vice President Mike Pence is here walking with several of the pastors. He's about to talk to some of the parishioners and some of the folks affected by these church fires here in St. Landry Parish. It's very quiet here. You see we're behind the church near the cemetery. You can see the burnt out remains of what was a more than 100-year-old church. This church, according to the stone out front, built in 1904, Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, serving members of rural St. Landry Parish, the Sunset community, southern Opelousas. As you can see, the vice president is talking to folks right now, shaking hands, offering his support and condolences about what happened here in St. Landry Parish just about a month ago. And again, 3 church fires in the span of 10 days in late March and early April. The first one at St. Mary Baptist Church outside of Port Barre. The second one, Greater Union Baptist Church in Opelousas. And then the third and final one here at Mount Pleasant Baptist Church in the Sunset area. Again, a suspect is behind bars in Catahoula Parish. Holden Matthews, the son of a St. Landry Parish Sheriff's deputy, charged with 3 counts of arson and 3 counts of hate crime. And so right now, as I said, healing process takes a while. A GoFundMe account has been set up for these 3 Baptist churches. More than $2.1 million so far raised on that GoFundMe page. And again, that money will be distributed between all 3 of the Baptist churches here in St. Landry Parish. Again, the Vice President here this afternoon to offer comfort and condolence to the church pastors and the church members. And as you can see, he's talking to folks right now. Going to spend some private time with them. Go ahead. Tracy. Yeah, I think the Mount Pleasant fire, I think you said it was April 4th. Today, what's today? May 3rd? I'm losing track of my days here. May 3rd? Yeah, so almost a month. Yeah, so almost a month. You're a day shy. Absolutely, and of course we need to remember the one of the good things about this, if there is a good thing, is that no one was hurt. No one lost their lives in any of these fires. No one was hurt. So that's, of course, a good thing, that no one was inside the church at the time, any of the churches at the time, and that no one had to lose their life over something like this. Earlier today, the vice president was on Twitter, and he said, quote, "No one should ever fear for their safety in a house of worship in America or anywhere in the world." And so we know that the vice president is a deeply religious man. He's a Christian, and of course, they have that's a common factor here. These are all Christians that are sharing some special moments together. And again, the vice president hugging a woman there and taking pictures and just offering support, comfort, and condolence. That's right, and so it looks like the vice president going to say perhaps a few words, and I am going to kind of let Conrad get in here, and I'm going to join the press right now.
say to each and every one of you gathered here that the Lord is also a way of the season. And not just of the churches in Mount Pleasant, St. Mary's and Greater Louisiana, also, but God that all of the churches burning one day after another, and how people might have responded. To see the way people here in these churches responded is an inspiration to their after what happened at St. Mary's and here at Mount Pleasant, the overcame evil in the season. The town in particular was moved. When you said after the suspect was apprehended, that we got to forgive him. Yeah. God, you lived out your faith. You had a testimony for Christ that echoed across the country. And I must tell you also, it was very inspirational to us to know that we still have Easter services right here in Mount Pleasant. There's a verse that says, if the foundation crumbles, how can the righteous stand? The structure of these churches burned. What was evident to people all across America is the foundation was firm. The foundation of faith and hearts of charity. And I know in my heart of hearts, based on that witness of faith and the generous outpouring of people across this state, across this nation, with great leadership at the state and federal level, and with great leadership in the pulpits of not only these three churches, but all the churches across this area, across the country. The best days for these three churches, for faith in Louisiana and faith in America are yet to come. So thank you all very much.
We're more than thankful that the President and the Vice President of these United States of America thought well enough to come out and share the way of expression their love and concern for the well-being of these three families who have lost their places of worship. And just Vice President Pence, President being here today, lets us know that there's hope, not only for today, but also hope for tomorrow, and that we have the support of all of God's children across the globe. And so we're just happy that he thought well enough to come out and share with us, if just for a short moment. We're very thankful for that. I want to thank you for that.
I just want to say thank you, President Pence. Show the love of God spread abroad in all of us. We have to know that there is something better for this country than hatred, envy, and strife. We are built, or this country is built on God. We're one nation under God. And God is love. If we don't continue to show each other love for it, why would you wake up in the morning to hate somebody? You should be making yourself a better person to wake up in the morning to do what's best for your neighbor, do what's best for your fellow man. And then you will fulfill out the scriptures, which is the fullness of scripture is love. That's the complete of the commandments is love, the greatest of them all. And I thank you for coming and taking your time out to come. There's nothing better, more important than this video, because it shows me that God is in the White House. Yes. And we thank God for you. Thank God forever keep you. May His face shine upon you. Amen. Amen.
President Pence, I want to thank you for just coming out and just showing your support. It speaks volumes. And I just want to tell everyone that's here, I want to tell you, I want to tell America, the world, thank you. The outpouring the outreach, mind-blowing. And it just proves that we live where people still care about each other. Right. And the people that do that, we've got to make sure that we don't lose heart. We don't get all hate, all that hate in our heart. And remember that we're here to help one another and be there for one another. So once again, I just can't say it enough, and I know I speak on behalf of the other two pastors. Thank you, America. Thank you, the world. Thank you, President Pence, for all that you've done to support us and to be there with us. And God is smiling down upon us today. God bless you.
President Pence, I really appreciate the effort that you have taken to come and be with us. During our times with trials, the Bible says in this world we will have trials and tribulations. It's always good to know that there's somebody there to help you. And we appreciate you taking out your time as well as all of the other law enforcement and the governor and all the help that you guys have given us. I can't express enough how the love of God has shown up in you guys. Oftentimes when we come to Christ, we say, we come to Christ. Well, we have to realize that God comes and uses us. Right. He's in control. And we're just instruments. And if you're willing to be used by God, I know we got great things ahead of us. Amen. Thank you. God bless you.
Well, thank you again. These three pastors, their faith in the wake of this unspeakable act of evil is in keeping with the best traditions of our faith. Yes. And frankly, with the best traditions of our country. Exactly. And I'm deeply inspired, as people are all across this country, by the courage and the resilience of these communities of faith, these families of faith, but also by the generous support of the people of Louisiana and people all across the country. I know you have a ways to go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was told that we're going to start here in Hammers.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty soon. At St. Mary's and Greater Union and here at Mount Pleasant.
Yes, sir.
And we have every confidence that with your continued testimony and leadership, with the generous, strong support of your governor, your senator, your members of Congress, with the outpouring of support from people all across this state and this nation, I know that the best days for Mount Pleasant, Greater Union, St. Mary's, and Louisiana are yet to come. So thank you all very much, and God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Press right this way.
This way.
Thank you very much.
Oh, is that yours or mine?
Yeah,
That's mine.
I'm sorry. I got one that's like.
I think they're all the same.
That way, right up back.
No, I didn't feel like